Hello, everybody. This is going to be a part two to the first video that I made. I'm glad if you're watching this video again. And this is going to be a general update for what had happened pretty much a week ago, last Thursday. I uploaded my first part on Sunday this past week, and it got a lot of views. It got a lot of feedback, and I got a lot of support and people reaching out to me to see how I'm doing, to see how things are going, and I greatly appreciate it. Much love to everybody, but as well as the support and everything, I know I still need to figure out my situation in its entirety. I did really mess up. Not that I'm blaming myself. Of course, I did it to myself, but life goes on, and you got to figure out what to do. So pretty much, just to recap again from what happened on last Thursday of last week, I was dealing with a lot of mental disability and instability that it caught me in a point that I had a mental episode. And that mental episode admitted me into the hospital for an injury that I sustained from self-harming and anger and rage that I just was inflicting upon myself. I don't have it anymore. You could sort of see it, but it's like a small scar from me scratching my face, from me doing everything I could, hitting myself. And then the major injury that I did sustain was, and just for explicit warning, if you don't want to hear it, or you're very squeamish to the thought of imagining, like I said, I look okay, but there's more under the surface of what happened, I guess. And so with that being said, the injury that I did sustain, which I'm trying to figure out my situation with insurance companies and figuring out how I'm going to pay for all of this and to make sure I get the most decent care that I can get. What had happened was, during my fit of rage and pure anger and sadness and depression and everything that I was going through, the self-harm, what I did was I grabbed a football that I had at the house, and in the whole motion of me doing everything, I bit down onto the football, and doing that while biting the football, I proceeded to pull as hard as I could out of my face while biting down on the football. And that was the start of it. In that motion, I heard the loudest crack that I ever heard. But the shock and everything that went through my body immediately from realizing what I did and seeing all the blood and stuff that occurred was scary. And it admitted me to the hospital as a 5150, unsafe for people around me and unsafe for myself. Was a scary day. Fortunately, I was able to kind of, how would I say it, battle with them against sending me to a psych ward. They were going to admit me 3 days into a psych ward on that day, so I would have been out probably till this past Monday of barely going home and essentially being around a crazy institute, as we all know, and is labeled as a psych ward. I didn't want to go, and it was just a really tough time to realize that I'd put myself in. But I was able to sort of heal. It doesn't look crazy to you guys, like as I'm smiling, like it looks okay. But under the surface, like I said, there was a loud crack. I damaged my jaw. I probably messed up my top and bottom. I know I definitely cracked this whole area down here, and I'm going to need extensive work done, which will probably be coming around the next 3 months. So that's a real downer. Like I said, I'm trying to talk to insurance companies. I'm trying to figure out what's the best option and route to take, considering that I don't have work, considering I don't really have much of an income, and just trying to get by and figuring out how I can get back on my feet. It's probably going to be a while till I do so. Probably these next couple of months of figuring out all the paperwork, all the you know what about like them being like, well, you need this and to qualify, yada yada. I'm figuring it out, and we'll see where it goes on from there. But that's the biggest update for my situation, at least financially. Regarding my mental health, there is a lot to unravel, which I'll probably be doing throughout this month, of breaking down certain parts of my mental illnesses or mental diagnosis. Um, and I'm not using these as excuses. I'm not trying to, excuse me, I'm not trying to think of my mental illness as a detriment or a thing that's going to hold me back. I want to try to learn to address it behaviorally and without medication, because I have a really strong disposition about medication and seeing how most medications affect people. And I'd rather take the harder route of knowing that I try to learn behaviorally to change myself for the better than just being in what I think as a cop out of kind of drowning everything out with a medication. And for some people it works, some people it doesn't. For me, I don't think it works. I've already had reactions to medications and things that don't make me feel well. So that's the route I'm taking. But regarding the actual diagnosis of my mental health and the things that I've gone through, it's a culmination of things that I've picked up and seen and experienced throughout this lifetime. I didn't realize I had a problem at all. I didn't realize there was such anguish and pain and hurt and things that I was just keeping inside since I was a kid. And for some that's shocking, for some it's like it makes sense, because a lot of the times we just don't know how to talk about this stuff. And that's kind of the point of going to therapy. You don't know you need it until it's too far gone. And I found that out barely a year and a half ago, that I needed to go to therapy. This stuff that I was diagnosed with and was able to finally trace back how far things were going on, when this all started. And I found a big part of it started in, I guess you could say, second grade, almost when I was about 7 years old. From then on, I experienced things that I shouldn't have, things that I've seen, things that I've gone through, and trauma and etc. I mean, I would go into detail, but I'd rather not. It's too personal, and that's part of me, but I'd rather let you guys know that that's what's going on. And this has been going on since I was 7 years old. I'm 24. I'll be 25 in a month. And if I can only learn all the tools necessary to be a better person now and not to get to that dark place that I was in on Thursday, that it'll be great and helpful to continue to live the life that I want to live and choose to live till the day I die. And that's the main goal. So to get into a little detail, like I said, I've been dealing with this since I was a young age, and till this day I'm still dealing with things. I have, once again, depression, major depressive disorder. I have anxiety disorder with very recurrent episodes of like just mental breaks and things that are out of my control, as well as complex PTSD, which is can be a culmination of traumas that you experience as a kid or throughout your life, and that's what it's called, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. As well as with a possible new diagnosis that I've been talking to a therapist about this week, and it's not full yet, but it's something that we're looking into with a later diagnosis of possible border personality disorder, which is pretty much a mood dysregulation disorder, as she explained it. And it comes with the mood swings, it comes with a bunch of other feelings of highs and lows, and the depression and everything that comes in contact. Like, it could be that with all of this that I have as my diagnosis, I also have this as well. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm not trying to use this as an excuse or handicap to get things or feel a certain way. It's more of me just letting you guys know, letting the world know, letting family, friends, and anybody who cares to know about me, the things that I go through and how hard it can be. I might look okay on the surface. I might feel like whatever. You can see me on my streams. You can see me laughing, getting mad at games and all this stuff. But that's not who I am. And it's not what I'm thinking, sadly. And that's the weird part. That's like, there's a something in me that I feel, and it's scary to feel. It's like a whole new person. It's like how I've put it, and what I've learned from therapy is, I feel as a person that I am mentally stuck at that young age of not knowing and trying to figure out life. And it's tough when you just grow, because from that age, I remember I had already started going through a process of learning how to reteach myself. I learned a lot of stuff, and I felt I matured at a very young age that I shouldn't have, of learning to be an adult and having certain mannerisms and behaviors that I exhibited as a child. But for a while, I felt like I was stuck at a young age, just growing up and figuring out how to deal with life. And that dark side that grew was, how I picture it is like me, but he's just full of anger. He's full of rage and this beat down feeling of, you're not, no matter what you do, no matter what I do to make myself feel better, I could have this ball of light. And I've used this metaphor for myself recently. I could have this ball of light, this inspiration, this feeling of goodness that I can come up with in today to make me feel some sort of sanity of like, okay, I can do this, I got this. But yet he's right there. It's me. It's like a weird version that just clouds, and he's there, and he starts ripping it apart. He starts ripping apart that ball of light, saying, yeah, that might be true, but, and that's all it is but. And he can rip it apart and show me that existential side of my depression that I always deal with, of what's the point? And it sucks. I don't like that side of me. I don't like to think of it as a side of me, but that might be how my therapist explained it, as my borderline personality disorder. Of, there's almost two whole sides that I'm going against and thinking about all the time, but one of them has more strength, and that's my dark side. Has a lot of power over me, and I'm trying to figure out how I can somehow undo that weird thought process, these filters, this lens that I've created for myself, this negativity that I'm always carrying around for what. And it's just tough. So for me, to you guys watching the video, you're not alone. Everybody can use therapy. Just because you think you're having a good time, you're enjoying your life, and things are going well, and you could be feeling okay. You could be telling yourself, I got my car, I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this, but in reality, there's something there. There's something that hurts. There's something bothering you. And if not, kudos to you. I can't say I wish. I can't do that to myself and compare myself to everybody, because this comparative society that we've built is what's causing a lot of these issues. The fact that I have to think of myself as, how come I'm feeling this way when that dude's okay? How come he or she is feeling that way but I can't? How come this and that? And that's what we do. That's what social media has done to us. We're always in a comparative state. Our parents and old generations used to do it. You used to see it in TVs. Simple things as like, oh, my daughter went to Yale. My daughter goes to Harvard. What does yours do? And then they're like, oh, she works at a McDonald's, or she does this, and they're just looking at you, and it's all about status. Why? And that's the constant questions I have. Why? What's the point? What's this? What's that? Why? And it sucks to get in that headspace, because I can really tear down a lot of society's infrastructure, society's whole socializing aspect of meeting and being person to person. And it's a very, I wouldn't say debilitating, it's very draining. Very draining. And like I said, I can look okay on camera, I can feel a certain way, but you don't know what's going on in my head. And that's the sad truth for a lot of people. And that's what I want to bring light to. So hopefully, as well as me giving out the diagnosis, even though I just, on a surface level of what it is, I might go into a whole another part to it where I'll explain each diagnosis that I have and each way that it affects me, without getting into detail of why and how it came to be. I don't know if I feel too comfortable disclosing any of this in regards to the details and experiences that I've experienced. Maybe not now, maybe not ever, but we'll see. I just want to bring light in heart of Mental Health Awareness Month. Mental health for anybody that may need it and may feel like, oh, it's not worth it. Like I said, you could feel great, you could feel like you're on top of the world, but in reality you might have something buried inside that you're keeping away. Just because you're having life on a silver platter doesn't mean you don't need therapy. It's not just about talking to somebody. It's about talking to a licensed physician, somebody who went to school, to give you the rundown, to tell you, hey, you have this. Here's how to deal with this. You also might have this, and here's how behavioral changes can help you. Nobody wants to go to their friends and family with really tough topic situations just to be told or given a blank stare of, ooh, like, I can't, what do I say? How do I tell them? Oh, you'll be okay. Like, they brush it off. Or they do the comparative thing of, oh, well, I went through that. Oh, well, I did this. And it's like, comparing isn't going to help me, let alone is it going to help you, because all you're telling me is you feel the same way. Then why aren't you going to therapy? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you looking for certain help besides telling me the same thing that I just told you? And I think that's something to really take into account. So, other than me rambling, I probably will be making separate parts for my diagnosis and giving a little bit more of a spiel of the diagnosis itself, from, like I said, my existential depression, my anxiety disorder, my recurrent episodes, and possibly having borderline personality disorder, as well as complex PTSD. So, I'll be probably making more of those videos later in this month, rolling out maybe once a week or whenever I have the chance to do it. For anybody who is wondering, like I said, I'm talking to insurance companies. I'm figuring out my financial situation so I can be able to pay these crazy medical bills. I'm probably going to be out for the next 3 months in regards to actually being able to do anything for myself than just waiting for surgeries and things that I got to get done, taken care of before I can really get back on my feet. So that should be it for now. I greatly appreciate it if you made it to the end of this video, and I'd appreciate any support. You can leave your comments down below. You can tell me what you think. You can just hear me out, think about it, and I will be making some more videos soon. If you do want to help and support me in any way, my biggest thing and only thing I can ask for, even though I hit my goal already of 50 followers on my Twitch channel, if you can go and watch my Twitch channel, drop a follow, help me out, spread the word. I want to grow this community. I want to let people know, like, hey, just because you use certain vices, just because you think that you shouldn't go get help, just to open up, find that help, let your voice be heard. Everybody can use it. Everybody needs everybody, no matter what you think. And it's for ourself and our own health, our own mental health, it's the best that you can do. So if you would like to actually support, follow my Twitch. It's going to be rated GGZ on Twitch TV. I go live, drop a follow, help me out. Let's grow together. Let's get people knowing about mental health. Let's get people talking. Let's get all these gamers. Let's grow this community. Let's have a good time. Let's enjoy whatever time we have on this planet and make it work for us. No matter what struggles, no matter what pain, you got to find your silver lining. You got to find what it is you want from this world. And if you could find that and you could work towards it in any form or fashion, however you want to get there, do it. There's always an option. You have options. Your last option is never the option. But there's options. This world is more fruitful than I know, you know. Even though we're all stuck here dealing with problems, it doesn't take much to think and tell yourself, what is it that I really want? What is it that I can do for myself, for others, for the greater good that makes you feel great? So just take that into an account. Sorry for rambling. Follow me on my Twitch, follow my YouTube, follow my Twitter. All of it's pretty much the same. Rated GGZ, RATED GGZ. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Greatly appreciate it. Sorry for the long one this time. And goodbye. Much love. Hope you join the GG Army. And I'll catch you later. Bye.